Now, slowly try to come back, friends. Bring awareness to your surroundings. Slowly start to sense your body. Now let us express our gratitude to all the masters. Gratitude to our body, to ourselves. Gratitude to the universe and to all beings, this planet. Gratitude to Mother Earth. Now slowly unlock your fingers and place them over eyes for 5 seconds, friends. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Now, whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. And please have some water, friends. Thank you so much for joining. Hope you're all back. Yeah. So now coming to today's wisdom part. So we are continuing the chapter 10, friends. Death conditions in life, from the book SETH Speaks, the Eternal Validity of the Soul. So in this chapter, so far we have discussed about the conditions and about the other realities and about our awareness. Now, coming to today's wisdom part, so there are other realities. So Seth Master says, yes, we also came to know that there are other realities that coexist with our own in the waking state, not only in the dream, not only in the sleep state, but sleep in through dreams we explore the other realities, we experience the other realities, but in the wakeful state as well, we are experiencing this, but we are not aware of them. So like Seth Master says, often in your dreams, you are able to perceive such other situations, but you often wind them into paraphernalia of your own, in which case, upon awakening, you have little clear memory. So we have to trust, friends. We have to believe. So when we love, when we believe in our dreams, so when we enjoy, so definitely we will experience the other realities which we are experiencing in the dream state. Like Seth Master, so earlier he said, like, we do have dream self. So as we are having the physical self, we do have the dream self. And in the dream self, we have the memory as well. And the memory, the dream, the dreamer's memory, the memory self, which, the dream self memory, which always remembers all the dreams, which always stores the information of the dreams, right? So some are recurring dreams. We will get to know those. So what are those? How these recurring dreams are, or how we are experiencing. Few people there, how they are experiencing these recurring dreams. So here he says, like, in the same way, in the same way, in the sense like we ignore, they ignore the dream, ignore the dream experience, and when they and the wake in when they awake, so they have the clear like little clear memory, so they have very little memory of the dream, of the other reality, and also about and also they ignore. So some people, they don't even remember that they had the dream experience. So in the same way, in the midst of life, you dwell with so-called. So here, uh, you know, Seth Master is making us clear about 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 the myth, or about the already what we have learned, what we got to know about ghosts. Okay, or we can say like apparitions. So they are the images, they are nothing to be afraid of. Okay, so let's know what those the term I mean what the ghosts mean, what we generally think of the ghost. So there is a lot that we have to unlearn, because more than to learn, friends, like more than to learn about the wisdom, about the truth. So I felt like we have to unlearn a lot. So when we unlearn, so like when we unlearn, like when we drop whatever the myths, whatever the information which is not at all near to the truth. So when we unlearn them, so we can understand so many concepts, the depth of the concepts. Okay, so coming to here, Seth Master says about to in the same way, so we experience in the midst, in the middle of life, he says, you dwell with so-called ghosts and apparitions, and for that matter, you yourselves appear as apparitions to others. So particularly when you send strong thought forms of yourself from sleep state, or even when unconsciously you travel out of your physical body. So there are as many kinds of ghosts and apparitions as there are people. So they are as alert, they are as alert or as unalert to their situation as you are to your own. So what he meant of the ghosts. So what are actually ghosts or apparitions, or these images? Some people they encounter with, or they experience. So it's like, they are nothing but the images that we send through our thought forms, either in the wakeful state, so in the sleep state. So in the sleep state, so when we release such thought forms, the strong thought forms, so these appear like like an images, the like images, like you say, like projections or images. So people think think that they are ghosts, so or they are that apparitions. So like, but actually they are the thought forms which we unconsciously we travel out of our physical body. These are not astral travels, friends. Astral travels are a bit different, so they are completely different to what Seth Master is saying to the thought form, the images that got released, that will release from the thought forms, right? So they are called, pseudo-appearance. Pseudo-appearance. So what is this pseudo-appearance mean? So some are thought forms sent by survival personalities out of lingering deep anxiety. See, like they are not, uh, like they didn't let the physical body, right? So these thought forms who are releasing, so what so many people say about the ghost, so they are nothing but the pseudo appearances. And these these come, so these are formed, so sent by the survival personalities, even the survival personalities who are with the body, who are alive, who are with life. So even we unknowingly, so unconsciously, we send these images of us, we send these pseudo appearances, we send these images through the strong thought forms. So how? Like lingering deep anxiety. So they portray the same compulsive type behavior. So it is this compulsive type behavior. So it refers to the actions that a person feels like to perform repeatedly. So repeatedly, so often to reduce anxiety. So these are called compulsive behavior, or we can say like OCD, right? Some discomfort. So even they feel some discomfort in the behavior. It seems irrational and unnecessary. So these actions are unnecessary, but they can't control themselves. They say though they have that strong thought to repeat that. So that scene. So this is one of the reason to release that images of the thought forms, like so compulsive behavior, or say like a strong desire. So this also one of the reason to release these images, like pseudo appearances. So the ghost, what we think about, so they are not actual. The ghost, they don't harm us. So they don't harm, and their intention, and even they don't have that knowledge of their impact on the other people. Sometimes even we, so people who are alive, so they are also, they come in that form as well, pseudo appearances. The characteristics of such apparitions follow those of a disturbed personality with some expectations. The whole consciousness in that image, the whole consciousness is not present. Okay, so these kind of personalities experience repetitive dreams. See, so those who have these OCD issues, or those who have these strong thought forms, or something like expectations, strong expectations, or some like lingering, so some like clinging to such emotions, to some emotions, or to some whatever they think, or their thoughts. So these projective form, right? So these projective form, like projections. So whenever that particular clip, whenever that particular film comes into that exact position, so they are reflected on so they are projected on the screen, right? So they are just images, they don't have the physical body in the projection. In the same way, they are not with the complete consciousness. So they are just an image, a paper, like the paper images. So this is how the thin, and these are like very they don't have that much of energy in that projections, in that images. So these kind of personality experience, like these who are having these type of thoughts or repetitive, they experience repetitive dreams or nightmares, during which it returns to the physical environment. So sometimes if they have these nightmares of something, so nightmares in sense, if they see something images, if they see something which they felt it is odd, it's actually not is odd, it is not at all odd, but the people who that but they felt that it is odd, so they have that such nightmares. And these nightmares varies from person to person, right? So it depends on the fears, it depends on their belief system, again it depends on their thought forms. So like this is how in these nightmares, if they see something images, or their own image, their own thought form, their own image of, so which are released from thought form. So they are like OCD who have this repetitive behavior. They encounter these these night dreams or repetitive dreams. I mean nightmares or repetitive dreams. So the personality itself is safe, He says, like Seth Master, it is safe. The personality is safe. The personality itself is safe and sound, but certain portions of it work out unsolved problems and discharge energy in such a fashion. So, which are unsolved, if they feel that it is bit challenging from their side, or which they feel that we with this is why we should not judge people. So some people, they have they have certain issues, unresolved issues in them, which they are not aware of. And some people, they discriminate, or they see like some things is easy for some people, and some they don't. Some people it's not easy. So we sometimes, we say like it is so easy, so why these people, they are why they are not able to handle, or why they are not able to perform or do anything. It is so simple. But see, we don't know what going on, so what they are going through within them. So even so many people, they are not aware. So this is how the unresolved problems are. So these unresolved problems, so they experience that nightmares. They and about these repetitive dreams. And this, some people, they see some images, and with their belief system, they think like they are ghosts, or someone or something is something, they feel that it is following them. Okay, so actually these are called pseudo images, which even it forms from the survival person as well, not not the person who left the physical body. So this is the clear. So they are in themselves quite harmless. So who? These pseudo appearances. Only your only your interpretation of their actions can cause difficulties. So they are harmless, they are quite harmless. But when it depends on it depends on how we perceive, so how we understand. So this causes difficulties. Okay, so difficult for whom? So those who experience these pseudo images. So these images are called pseudo appearances. So sometimes we as well, we take such forms in other realities, and we are not even aware of it. See, when we experience, so we are not aware of it, we send such thought forms, which we are not at all aware, we are not at all conscious of that. And when people or apparitions take these forms, they are not aware of their effect upon others. And see, so some, they are having some astral, some they are having other realities. We do have parallel realities, right? In that other parallel reality, which we are not aware, and we send such and when such images got released from us, the parallel the parallel dimension, the people who are in the parallel dimension, they think that we are ghosts. So our image, they think that we are ghost, or some other images. So in the same way, when people here in this dimension, when they encounter such experiences, so they may be some from the other realities, just like us, right? So people, they are not aware of them. And here astral body or astral images are different again. These are not astral travels, not at all. So these pseudo appearances, or pseudo what when then the when people go to certain places with these images, those are not astral travels. So astral travels, or says Seth Master says, astral forms or astral images are more advanced than your own. So how are these formed? How are these pseudo appearances? How are these formed? The combination of thought, emotion, and desire creates form. See, so it's from us. So how we are sending these forms? The combination of thought. the thought, emotion, and desire, and create these forms, possesses energy and is made of energy. It also has certain energy, but it's not like much advanced as astral images. But it will show itself in as many ways as possible. So even they can change the form according to the thought. Like see, if a person is having certain a thought that he himself want to see him as a king, okay, he loves to be a king. So again, this is comes from the thought, and this is comes from the individual's behavior, individuals what we see belief system, right? So and also from the desire. So he said like emotion and desire. See, like some people who they always who likes these like like to be a king or a queen or something which is contrast, which is completely contrast to this to the actual physical reality of themselves. If the person wants to see himself as a king, so this, if he is having a strong desire, so whenever, so in the wakeful state as well, or not only in the sleep, this person can create that the form, create that pseudo image, create that appearance as a king. It is completely contrast to the physical reality, right? It has certain energy, but it can take any multiple forms. Okay. So and if a person is not at all happy, if an individual, so if she or he is not at all happy with the, just for an example, okay, just if you are not happy with their physical appearance, if they want something, if they expect from themselves, these are all, these images also forms from the expectations as well. So if the person, if the individual expect like a film star or a film hero, so like if they are, if they like someone, uh if they like someone's the appearance, the outer appearance, I say, okay, the outer appearance, they take that form. This is how the thought creates that form, right? So that's why here Seth Master said is not exactly what, if I took some form, the thought form, it depends upon my thought at that moment, not every time. Okay, at that particular moment, at that particular thought, that particular desire. Okay, so this is why he said like it's itself has many multiple can take any form. We only recognize the physical materialization. We send pseudo forms of ourselves out from ourselves of which we are not aware, and which this person is not at all aware of, that he has taken this type of image, right? Now, so Seth Master again says like whether you have a physical form or not, if you have emotions or feelings, these will take form. See, whether, I repeat this, whether you have a physical form or not, that means it's not necessary to to have this pseudo form, like people who take this who take these pseudo images. It's not necessary to have a physical form. That means so to have the physical body, that means the person who are alive, even the person who left the body, they also can take this physical form. That's why, so no, we should not cling to certain experiences, certain extreme emotions. So when people have certain desires, so unresolved desires, unresolved whatever the thoughts, unresolved thoughts, if they cling on to, if they just hold on to that thought, so if they see, like this is how people who always wants their own home, own house, or when they cling on to that house, so this is my house, taking everything to their self, this is my house. Or people who are interested in wealth, in the material, in the material forms, in the materialistic life, so whatever it is. So when though they leave the body, they leave the thought form so of their self here in this dimension. So whether you have physical form or not, so this emotion is itself sufficient to take this form, right? So this is why, friends, we have to be very much aware of our thoughts, of our desires, or every time it is necessary, it is necessary to have the inner work. Inner work is very important in meditation. So not only like practicing meditation, reading books, and listening to wisdom sharing sessions, but it's very important, these three, the combination of meditation and the wisdom what we receive, so what we take in through books and to like like these sessions. So these combinations, so we have to this from this knowledge, we have to we have to do our inner work is very important. Inner work is very, very important to know ourselves, to know about our thoughts. So this is again I'm saying this, so enlightenment, so or something like awakening. So something like we see like we have to awake. So it's like when we know about ourselves, when we know the truth about ourselves, that's the day. So when we start about our inner work, so that's the true path of the enlightenment. Okay, so this is why we don't know how these thoughts are taking forms. We don't know, we are not aware of them. So coming to again, so Seth Master, what says about if you think strongly, so he says, if you think strongly of an object, if you think strongly of being in another location, right? In another location, a pseudo image of yourself will be projected out from you to that place, whether or not it is perceived, and whether or not you yourself are conscious of it or conscious in it. This applies both to those who have left your physical system and to those who are in it. So it's very clear, right? So here, so I'll repeat this line. So whether or not it is perceived and whether or not you yourself are conscious of it or conscious in it. What's that mean? So while we are releasing, so while this individual it is releasing, so he is not conscious of that image, and that image itself, that pseudo image itself is not conscious, right? It is even the image, it has no memory, or the image doesn't have any consciousness, and it's just an image. Okay, now coming to, so these forms are called, so these pseudo forms, they are called secondary constructions. So as a rule, full consciousness of the personality is not in them. As a rule, so it's a rule that it's that the consciousness of that personality is not in them. They are automatic projections. So we have to underline this. They are automatic projections. So automatically these images are formed. Now coming to so these are called secondary constructions. So what is we do have primary constructions. So what are these primary constructions? Primary constructions, a consciousness, usually fully aware and alert. And here in secondary construction, they are not at all, they are not alert, they are not in conscious. But in primary construction, so they are fully aware and alert, adopts a form, not his native one, and consciously projects it, often into another level of reality. Even this is a rather complicated endeavor and one seldom used for purposes of communication. Okay, these are used for communication. So they are conscious of their image. In the secondary construction, these pseudo images, they are not at all conscious. Okay, but in the primary constructions or those they have they have that energy. They are conscious and they use these images as a communication. See, like example, we can take autobiography of a yogi book. So in that book, so we come across these types of experiences. So Yogananda, so like Lahiri Mahasaya, he appears to the father of Yogananda before he visits, before he know much about Lahiri Mahasaya. So father Yogananda's father, so he see the Lahiri Mahasaya, he experienced the image of Lahiri Mahasaya, sees Lahiri Mahasaya. So this is how, that means Lahiri Mahasaya, these images, so his physical body actually is in Kashi, in Varanasi, right? But here it's in Kolkata. So father, Paramahamsa Yogananda's father is in Kolkata, but he experienced the image that he sees the Lahiri Mahasaya's appearance. So Lahiri Mahasaya is not in physical. It's not the actual physical body. He didn't came physically. It's just an image. But Lahiri Mahasaya, he is conscious of that image. He knows very well. He is communicating with his image, right? So we come across so many experiences in this book. So if you read that, so here these primary images, these primary constructions, in these primary constructions, well, when they release, and again, this is not astral travel. These are completely different to astral travels. So again, these thought forms, so they communicate. So they use for communication. So unless we are conscious, unless that person is conscious of that image, he can't communicate, right? So consciousness is present in that image. So strangers, so this is how, strangers may communicate when we are in sleep and even guide us through various periods of our life. So these are called masters, or we can say like the guides who takes this form. They are not physical, who takes this form, and we experience sometime in dreams or and through telepathy. So these they communicate through telepathy. So if we see or not, so if we receive some message, that means they send their thought form, they communicate. So like telepathy, they communicate their thought forms in these through these images. So if we are thinking strongly, so see like how we communicate through thought form. So we all have experienced this. So when we think about some of any person, or if you are thinking strongly to call or to message a person, so it means like we are sending a thought form, and we are not aware that our thought has taken that form. Even that person can't see, but so these thought form, so they communicate into the other's consciousness, into that individual consciousness, and this is how communication happens. And we gets, so we gets immediately, the person calls, they call back. So even we are not trying to call physically, but we had that strong thought that to call that person or to send some important, so whatever we feel, that strongly we feel, we get call or message from that particular person who we thinks, who we remember, right? Who we want to send, who we want to communicate. So this is how, so telepathy or the communication happens with the thought forms. So Seth Master says, the very word, so finally he says like, the very words, life and death, serve to limit your understanding, to set up barriers where none intrinsically like exist. No, these life and death, the very words he said, life and death. So they serve to limit our understanding. So when we, in fact, there is, they are inseparable. Okay, so we came to know that, when we are in life as well, we experience death in many realities, in multiple realities. So, but we focus more on the physical terms, right? So he says like to set up much barriers. So we are experiencing this. We are making them separate with our conditions in life. So this is all about this chapter, friends. So with this, we came to an end of this chapter, chapter 10. So a lot of information has been shared here by SETH Master. And next week, we will enter into chapter 11, after death choices and the mechanics of transition. This is very, very, very interesting chapter, and definitely we will enjoy, because I don't know, but I am enjoying. This is very interesting chapter, because after death choices, it depends on the choice that what we, the transition period, and also about the birth, about the next life, how we take. So we'll come to know in the next chapter. So thank you so much then, friends. Thanks for joining. If at all you want to share anything, you can unmute yourself. Ramsar?
So, very interesting sharings today, Sarada garu. And we start from the end, where the understandings of these very terms of life and death, they really create a lot of barriers, and that is why it is very, very important to understand these terms, life and death. And we see how much ever we know, how much ever we learn, there is always a lot more beautiful to learn, a lot more beautiful to understand. And today, very new for me as well, about these ghosts or whatever that we call as the thought forms, and how all these pseudo personalities are formed on the basis of our thoughts combined with the emotions and desires. If we look into these things, all the why we always say every thought is so very important, and how they form the base that triggers everything later. We call it emotions, we call it desires, etc., etc. How important every single thought is. And one cannot become aware of their thoughts, emotions, and desires unless and until one can't connect to silence. It's impossible. There is no other way around. We might listen to these many number of times. We might have seen such wisdom in the stories, in the movies, in various layers of our life, various aspects of our life. Even if we go into Mahabharata, Ramayana, all these things, we might have seen such thought forms shared in various situations. But we will never understand this unless and until one connects to silence, one experiences silence. Because only then one can go into desire, understand their own self, one can understand what is the work of emotions, then going back to the thought forms. So, very, very interesting. Um, a wonderful ending to this beautiful chapter, understanding that our thought forms when we speak about death, it is not just about when those that are created after leaving the body, but as we live as well, we equally experience that a person experiences after they leave the body. So when we are in the body, when we are not in the body, we are, how do you say, leaving these thought forms, experiencing these thought forms. Very interesting also about the nightmares, how all these unresolved emotions, unresolved problems, they return, or they are experienced as nightmares. So wonderful. And yes, so that's why all these sessions have to come through a proper connection to the silence, and how much is there to learn, how much is there to enjoy. Enjoy means evolve. Thanks a lot, and looking forward to next Friday. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rashmi ji. So, that all my sharings, and we will meet in the next session. Namaste all.